from a first job fixing watches, I did some research.
Yes.
Fixing watches to acting on the big screen, is it surreal when you reflect?
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty, and I think that's something that can help a lot of people. And I just honestly probably heard this months ago about not focusing on where you're not, but focusing on where you came from. Because people would always tell me oh, you've done this and you've done that. And in my mind, it was yeah, but I'm not here and I'm not there. But once I heard that about looking at how far you've come, I became so grateful. And it was just this light came over me. I was wow, I have done a lot, and I've done it in such a short amount of time. And it was also, I think, that mentality of being naively optimistic and coming here and be everything's gonna be easy. And it was see, look, it was easy. But it's so important to be able to do that, to reflect back on that. And I think that's what's made me more grateful, but also more content in my career. Because there's times where things might slow down and you start getting frustrated, and to sit back and be girl, you just did this, and this, and this, and this. And yes, you want to do 10 times more than that, but also celebrate. And that's why I got my dog, actually. I have a dog. I rescued him from the pound. And that's why I got him, because I honestly, everything that I would book, as soon as I would book it, I would, yay, this is amazing. I booked this. What's next? Oh my God, after I'm done filming this, what's next? I would never do anything nice for myself, even though that one booking represented an extraneous amount of hours in acting class, at the gym, reading acting books, reading scripts, all of these different things that no one sees, all this work that I'm putting in. But then I wouldn't reward myself. It would just be good job. Where's your next one? Why haven't you booked another one? Why aren't you going from one to the other? And so Rex, my dog, was my treat when I booked Criminal Minds. And it was one of those things you know what? I've never gotten myself anything for booking a project. I'm getting myself a cool dog who's spoiled, but a cool dog as a gift to myself for that. So I think it's important for people to reflect on that, on where they've come from. So once I do that, like you said, coming from fixing watches to now being on the screen, it just makes me so grateful and so full of joy, because I know that girl that was fixing watches would, if I was to go back there and be girl, you're gonna be on TV, she would have been yeah.
How do you remain humble after an award or completing a big project?
My family. Like I said, my circle is small, but it's a quality circle. And the upbringing that I had with my mom was very important to me. My mom would always tell me the story about my grandfather from my dad's side, who was a very well-renowned doctor in Cuba. And with all the political stuff that happened with Fidel, he ended up going to jail for being against Fidel Castro. And then when he was released, he was exiled from Cuba. So he went to work at, we all went to live in Venezuela. And he had to work as a janitor, cleaning floors. And my mom, I met him, but I was very young when he passed. But my mom would always tell me stories about how dignified he was when he would clean the floors, and that the floors in that building were just immaculate. And she would always tell me that story about this was a man who was the best in his field in Cuba, and he was the best at cleaning floors. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, because your job doesn't make who you are. It's what you do. It's what you do with what you have. And so that always stuck to me. And then also she would always tell me, she's don't judge someone by the work that they do, because you don't know who they are. And then she would always be look at your grandfather. No one would ever think that this man was this brilliant doctor who's cleaning floors. So that always stuck with me. And I think the other thing that helps me stay humble is that saying of like, treat others how you want to be treated. And it's so cliche, and like, I think we've heard it so much that people are just like, treat people like, treat others like you want to treat yourself. Ooh. And it kind of just like goes over your head. But that's something for me, like, it's very strong, because I catch myself even like, sometimes you're dealing with customer service and you're a little irked because something's not there and you just want to lose your cool. And then I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, it's like, how would I feel if someone was screaming at me or like being mean to me? And so I just kind of reverse that, which a great book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Life changer. After I read that, then it's like, no, I'm gonna make it a purpose to win them over and make them smile and make them feel good. And then it's just kind of like everything works out for you. But it's that mentality of like being kind to others. And I think that helps with the humbleness.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.